Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Mr. Irresistible by Jodie Larson, narrated by Grace Grant and Tyler Dunn. Prologue. Mason. I should have known better than to think he could change. He's still the same arrogant asshole from high school, letting things fall into his lap without trying. And yet, I can't mask the hurt dwelling within my heart. I thought being ignored was horrible. No, I was wrong. This is way worse. Chapter 1. Mason. Don't be nervous. It's only a job interview. Yeah, right. The word sounds stupid even in my head. After my asshat ex-boyfriend unceremoniously kicked me to the curb, this is my last lifeline to make it on my own before crawling back home like a 28-year-old loser. Not on my watch. Glancing at my competition, the nervous little flutters in my stomach dissipate. Not that I should judge a book by its cover, but something tells me the blonde woman sitting by the window doesn't have a college degree in anything, as she twirls some gum around her index finger while giggling at something on her phone. Probably some ridiculous TikTok video. So, are you here for the job too? The young girl beside me smacks her lips as she checks out her makeup in a compact. What kind of dumbass question is that? Nope, I just enjoy sitting in waiting rooms so I can meet new people. She snaps the mirror shut and turns in her seat with a wide smile. Oh my God, me too! Fuck my life. Seriously? When her name gets called, she packs up her purse, adjusts her boobs and skirt to show off as much skin as possible, and disappears behind the conference room door. Between the blonde ditz by the window and the Victoria's Secret mannequin getting interviewed now, I should be a shoo-in for the position. Personal executive assistant wasn't exactly something I wanted, considering I have a business finance degree with a minor in administration. It was the only thing I found on one of those job websites remotely close to what I wanted for a career. My endgame has always been to be the CEO of my own company. Rather than following the business plan everyone suggested, I decided to jump feet first into uncharted waters, and was eaten by the sharks, who were more than willing to take advantage of my lack of experience. Lesson learned. Time to start from the bottom up. And everything I've read about the Madison Development Group has been glowing, especially the individual growth of their employees. The clock's loud ticking on the wall distracts me while trying to stop my leg from bouncing. There's no need to be nervous. You've got this. If only I showed this confidence on the outside. The VS model returns within a few minutes, sporting a wide smile. Good luck, she whispers before leaving the waiting room. Huh, she was barely in there. That can't be good. The blonde girl gets called next with the same result, barely 5 minutes before emerging with a similar smile. My worst fear is getting passed up for being overqualified, or not dressed slutty enough, since that seems to be the theme with the other girls. Ms. James, we're ready for you. With a deep breath and genuine smile, I grab my briefcase and stride confidently into the boardroom. This job is mine. If the amount of time spent during this interview is any indication, I should be the obvious choice. The half hour blazed in a blink, leaving me feeling good as I shook everyone's hands. It was very nice meeting you, Mason. We'll be in touch shortly, Denise Caldwell, the HR rep, says. I look forward to it. My heart soars as I exit the room, completely lost in my thoughts. Not one to jinx anything, but I take my time heading to the elevators, getting a layout of the land as I pass multiple cubicles and offices on the way to the bathroom. I wonder if the people are friendly and accommodating. Which cube would be mine? They never mentioned who I would be assisting, and I didn't think to ask because it didn't matter. As soon as the door shuts, I smile at my reflection, seeing the person I've missed over the last few months. Between Zach's cheating and my temporary job, I hardly recognized myself. But this person, the one with bright hazel eyes and rosy cheeks, I've missed. It's taken a lot to regain some of my missing pieces over the last few years, pieces that have been chipped away or stolen due to my naivete, thinking I could walk into any situation and rule the world. One blow after another, I soon stood a bit shorter and unsure of myself. Today, I know things are going to change. I quickly leave the restroom with a final check while digging around in my phone that had fallen somewhere in my briefcase. "Oof!" a deep masculine voice grumbles as my shoulder collides with his arm. "Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry." I look up, ready to formally apologize, when the words die on my lips. No, it can't be. What are the odds? Sure, it's been 10 years since I've seen him, but he looks the same, only a little older and more mature. Still the ruggedly handsome man I pined over for years, praying he'd see me. Yet some things don't change, as he barely acknowledges my existence. Mr. Irresistible himself, Tyler Cannon. High school jock, most popular person on campus with everything always falling into his lap, bringing 2 state titles in football and hockey, and every girl's fantasy. Most of them achieving it since he was also the biggest man-whore. "Sure," he grunts before disappearing down the hall toward a corner office. And just as before, he doesn't see me. I stand there with my jaw slack for a few moments, staring at his retreating form. Even though it seems he's still an enormous tool, he fills out a suit nicely, and has kept his athletic physique. Broad shoulders, narrow waist, hardly a lick of fat on him. Or so I assume. But all the good looks in the world don't make up for being an asshole. Tyler Cannon won't ruin my good mood. Not that he would know he did in the first place. Without another look, I quickly reach the elevator and step out the front doors. It's a nice enough day to walk around, especially since I don't have anything going on. A slight breeze and the sun on my face lighten my mood again as I head straight to my favorite spot, the Cask and Barrel, an upscale whiskey bar boasting over 150 different brands from around the world, the absolute best in the state. Before I open the door, my phone vibrates in the front pocket of my briefcase, showing the number I hoped to see. Tiny palpitations stir in my chest as I shakily hit the small green button. "Hello?" "Ms. James, it's Denise Caldwell. Is this a bad time?" I bite my lower lip to suppress the smile coming forth, keeping my voice as level as possible. "Not at all. What can I do for you?" "On behalf of the Madison Development Group, we'd like to welcome you to the team." Holy shit! It's mine! After making a few arrangements to start Monday morning, I end the call and fist pump the air shamelessly. Now, it's time to celebrate. I walk to the bar, taking my usual spot, and call my best friend Jenna, who groggily answers the phone. "Yeah?" "Catch you at a bad time?" She yawns and grumbles something under her breath. "Other than my nap, no." It must be nice to sleep in, though I wouldn't trade my day job for her night one. Getting home when most people are asleep is not a good time. But if I were a high-end adult entertainer working 3 nights a week making her kind of money, I'd probably put up with it. Well, except for the whole getting naked thing. Get dressed and meet me downtown. It's time to celebrate. Sheets rustle in the background, muffling her voice for a second. "No shit?" I nod as if she could see me. "You better believe it. Hurry up and get down here." Not that I have to say where I am. She already knows. After ending the call, I flag down Jared, my favorite bartender, who also happens to be the owner. "Hey girl, getting an early start to your day?" he asks, sliding my usual drink in front of me. I don't know if he pays this close attention to all his customers or if I come here too often. Hopefully it's the first option. Is there such a thing as too early in the day to start drinking? He chuckles and shakes his head. Brandon says the same thing. It's no wonder you two get along so well. I adore Jared's new boyfriend so much better than the last guy he was dating. Nothing says horrible breakup like needing a restraining order to keep his crazy stalking ass away from you. Besides, it's after 2 o'clock, close enough to 5. I toss him a wink for good measure. I received some exciting news today, which is why I'm here. You got the job? Poor Jared has been listening about my woes for too long, knowing more about me than anyone else, except for Jenna, who's one of my oldest friends and knows all my secrets. You bet your hot booty I did. Jared laughs and grabs a bottle off the top shelf. This is a cause for celebration. He generously pours 2 glasses with the amber liquid and slides one my way. It must be nice being the owner. You can give away the top shelf, I don't want to know how expensive this drink is liquor without worrying about the overhead or cost. Being friends with the owner while spending a decent amount of time here helps also. To new beginnings. We clink our glasses together and take a healthy sip, letting the alcohol burn down my throat. Slightly smoky, with a smooth finish, exactly how I like it. He asks about the interview, and I spare no details, starting with my competition and the irrational fear I carried. I told you, he says, making me another old-fashioned. I know. Jenna bursts through the door, clearly making her presence known. Not that anyone cares. It's me, Jared, and the 2 regulars sitting at the end of the bar, nursing their drinks with no time in the world. What's up, bitches? Jared rolls his eyes and pours a heavy-wristed shot of Glenlivet over a ball of ice. Always so classy. Hey, I am the epitome of class, she says, while adjusting her pants to stop catching on her navel piercing. Sure, whatever you say. Honestly, I don't know what I'd do without her. She's my rock, the person I lean on most, because she's been through so much at such a young age. Her parents died in a car accident, which was tragic enough. Then she was sent to live with her grandma, who had health issues no one knew about, throwing a whole new snag into the mix. At least she made it until graduation. After her grandma died, working in the adult entertainment industry with no money and no job prospects was all Jenna could do to make ends meet. Luckily, she didn't have to perform in seedy places for too long, working her way up to the big leagues with better clientele, better hours, and less scandalous after-hour events. And I'm always the first to choose someone a new asshole if they look down on her profession. They don't know her or her story. The empty glasses pile up on the bar, leaving us nice and toasty as business picks up. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I say, placing a hand on her shoulder. Guess who I ran into at the office? Jenna taps her chin, pretending to think. Chris Evans. Ha, right? If I did, I'd still be there with him. I shake my head while chewing on my lip. No, I ran into him. She draws her brows together. Who? Him, I say more forcefully. You know? Still a blank stare. Fuck, maybe I should quit drinking so I can form a coherent thought. Just say his name, for fuck's sake. Fine. I blow out a quick breath and ignore the thumping in my chest. Mr. Irresistible. Almost like we were in a cartoon, her eyes widen inhumanly as her jaw practically hits the floor. No way. Mr. Hometown Hero himself? I thought he moved away years ago. I shrug and try to drain every last drop of alcohol clinging to the ice ball in my glass. Nope, and let me tell you, things haven't changed. What did he say? I flagged Jared down for another round before closing out the tab. Nothing. I bumped into him and he barely acknowledged my existence. So, same old Tyler. She picks up the fresh drink and leans back in the chair. You'd think he would have grown up by now. High school is over. No one cares about his dumb accomplishments. Exactly. Only I can't get my brain to focus on anything else. I thought I had buried those feelings long ago, chalked them up to never going to happen. Yet, 10 years later, I'm still harboring a secret crush on him. Jenna can't know about this. Fuck the losers who can't move on from their high school glory days. Fuck them right in their asses, she loudly proclaims, drawing a few concerned stares. I slap my hand over her mouth and give an apologetic smile. She doesn't get out much. That seems to appease the onlookers as we giggle like teenagers. Jenna checks her watch and quickly slams her drink. Gotta go. The pole waits for nobody. That's what she said. We break into another fit of giggles before hugging goodbye. See you at home. Today was a good day, celebrating a new job with a promising future. Who could ask for more? Suddenly, images of Tyler filter to the front of my brain, looking all sexy in his suit, only this time holding on to me rather than turning away. I shake my head, needing to work this out of my system. My trusty teal friend is coming out of hiding once I get home, and I'm just tipsy enough to hopefully not call out his name at the end. Almost. Chapter 2. Mason. Here's your ID badge, insurance packet, and security codes for signing into the system. I take the items from Denise and stare at the photo on my badge. I've never been so happy to have a good hair day in my life. Is there a training day or anything like that? It was probably a question I should have asked on Friday, but I was so excited about getting this job that it slipped my mind. Denise smiles and shakes her head. With your resume, we figured you would like to jump in feet first. She's not wrong. I prefer to learn hands-on rather than sit in some lecture and get told what to do. I would have to agree. Her smiling face eases the lingering worries fluttering in my stomach from the first-aid jitters. Wonderful. Shall we find your cubicle? I wasn't sure how much stuff I should bring, considering I hadn't seen my workspace yet. For all I knew, I'd be stuck in a broom closet, or given a folding table with a laptop, making my desk anywhere I could find a spot. We leave her office and head down the maze of halls. It's funny how large the interior of the office is. From the outside, you'd think it's a shoebox with maybe a hallway or two, not the labyrinth of offices, cubes, conference rooms, and hallways. She points out several bathrooms, the break room/kitchen area, copy room, and mail room. The worried flutter returns as we turn down a familiar hallway. A cold sweat threatens to break across my neck as we get closer to the corner office. And here is your desk. She points to a spacious cube with a U-shaped desk containing a computer with 2 monitors and a leather high-back chair. Behind me is a bank of floor-to-ceiling windows, showcasing the gorgeous skyline of Minneapolis. A girl could get used to a view like that. This is perfect, I say, testing my new chair. Oh yeah, soft yet firm, with enough support that my back already feels better. Denise chuckles to herself. I'm glad you like everything. I nod and stand again. It's perfect. Time to bite the bullet. So, who do I report to? Ah, yes, that would be Mr. Cannon. An ungodly ache forms inside me, like I swallowed asphalt, sitting like lead in my stomach. Somehow I knew it'd be him. Have you been introduced yet? Not yet. I'm not about to divulge that we've known each other for years, only because he didn't recognize me after our run-in the other day. Or he honestly doesn't know me. She turns to his door and hums. Well, we may want to wait for a moment. Usually when his door is closed, he's in a meeting with someone. Best not to interrupt. But I'll check back in a bit and make the formal introductions. You can utilize this downtime by filling out the forms and getting acquainted with the computer system. I nod, thankful to have this brief reprieve. Absolutely. Once she's gone, I reclaim my seat and start booting up the computer, adjusting the monitors to the correct height and distance while searching for my login name and password. I'm halfway through reading the intro packet when a petite woman pops into my cube with a friendly smile. Hey, you must be the new PA. I turn in my chair and grin. I am. Mason James. Holly Sutter. She makes herself comfortable on the edge of my desk after giving me a quick handshake. So, you must be working with Mr. Cannon? Mr. Cannon? Are we not allowed to call him by his first name? Is he that arrogant? It appears so. Awesome, then we'll be cube neighbors. I'm Corin Bremer's assistant, so if you need any help, I'm here for you. Thanks, I appreciate it. Holly crosses her legs at the ankles. Have you met him yet? I shake my head. Denise was going to introduce us, but said it'd be better to wait since he's in a meeting. Pink tinges her cheeks as she begins to snicker. If banging the office slut is called a meeting, then yes. Seriously? I widen my eyes and try not to let my jaw drop. That's what he's doing? She nods. It's well known that Chrissy and Tyler have a casual thing going. She pops in about 5 minutes after he gets here on Monday mornings, and his door stays shut for at least a half hour, with her adjusting her clothes and makeup on the way out. It doesn't leave much to the imagination about what's happening inside. I'm not sure why I'm so surprised. It fits the M.O. Major player to whoever was willing to participate. How is that tolerated? Holly shrugs and checks her nails. Who's going to say no to the boss? Even HR? Like anyone would complain, she confirms. He's hot, rich, and satisfying their needs. Anyway, I love your outfit, she says, pointing to my modest dress. I wasn't sure how fancy I should get on the first day, so I opted for something simple yet upscale. Getting labeled as the office suck-up or the one who takes business casual a little too far is the last thing I need. But this flowy pink dress and cream cardigan was a good compromise. Thanks, it's one of my favorites. Judging by her gray pencil skirt and loose white blouse, I guessed right. Mid-range business casual seems to be the theme. I'm assuming Denise took you around the floor? I nod. I got the 5-cent tour, though I'm sure I'll still get lost. I pull open a few drawers and frown. Any chance you can tell me where to get pens and paper? With a laugh, she wraps her tiny hand around my forearm and drags me down the hall. This way. After a few more twists and turns, pausing every once in a while to introduce a few others who work in the office, I grab everything I need from the supply room and head back to my area, ready to tackle the next task, while Holly runs straight for Ms. Bremer's office. I let out a relieved sigh as Tyler's door was still closed. Delaying the inevitable would be nice, though not feasible. I know we'll come face to face at some point, but I'd like a game plan together for either scenario. 1, he remembers who I am and doesn't care, or 2, he doesn't remember who I am and still ignores me. The soft click of his office door turns my curious eye toward the hallway. Just as Holly said, the blonde woman fixes her hair and runs a fingertip around her lips to catch any smudges. She reminds me of the women I sat with during the interview. Someone vetted them with a particular type of taste. I'm guessing it wasn't Denise. Before I wheel my chair back to its position, a tall masculine figure steps out the door while adjusting his suit coat. Just like last week, my breath hitches as I take a good look at this fine specimen of a man. There's no denying that he aged well since high school. He may be impossibly more handsome than before, though I don't know how. Back then, he was a walking legend, a god among mortals. Nothing has changed. Instead of wearing football jerseys and well-worn jeans, he's dressed in suits and ties, looking polished and refined. On the outside, that is. Not so refined having office sex to start your day. Tyler turns his head slightly, catching my gaze. Shit. I quickly scoot my chair back to the desk and grab some papers to appear busy, not like I was creepily eyeing him up. I close my eyes, praying he didn't notice, until a shadow looms over me, freezing my movements. "You must be my new assistant." Everything inside my chest constricts, sending my system into overtime to regulate my heart and lungs before having some attack or passing out. Stupid hormonal reaction. Someone needs to give my brain a memo, reminding the supposed smart organ that this man is a player and not interested in us. Okay, here goes nothing. Slowly, I turn in my chair, waiting to see Tyler's reaction. For half a second, a glimmer of recognition flashes in his eyes as they dilate slightly, causing his nostrils to flare and the corner of his mouth to twitch. It disappears just as quickly, giving way to the business facade I imagine he puts forth to everyone. I am. Should I extend my hand or wait to see if he says anything? The long, awkward pause is almost unbearable as we have a silent standoff of wills. Tyler inspects me from head to toe, slowly drawing his gaze like a caress. No wonder he never had any issues getting women into his bed. One look from him is nearly enough to send you flying into his arms without thought. Luckily, Denise rounds the corner with a smile. "Oh, good. I see you've met Miss James." She looks between the two of us for confirmation. Tyler cracks first. "A pleasure." He extends his hand, which I take, ignoring the little thrill it sends up my arm. "Please, call me Mason." Again, I hoped my name would spark some memory. It's not typical by any account. I can only think of a handful of people who share my name, none from around here. Yet he stands there, stoic, giving absolutely nothing away. Denise looks between us, clearly pleased with herself. "Looks like you two will get along swimmingly." She turns her attention to me. "Is there anything you need help with?" I shake my head. "No, everything is fine. I should have the forms back to you by this afternoon." "Excellent. Then I'll leave you to it." She walks away without a backward glance, filling the small space with awkwardness. Do I call him out and make him look like an ass? Remind him that we've spent years of our lives together in the same school, have the same friends, but never talked to one another? "Let's get started," he says, shoving his hands in his pockets. Don't look at his crotch. Don't look at his crotch. Unfortunately, my eyes have a will of their own, drawn to an area I'd rather not think about. Tyler chuckles to himself, almost like he can read my thoughts. "Grab a notepad and meet me in my office." Business it is. I follow behind and sit in one of the plush chairs in front of the massive mahogany desk, sporting the same view from behind my little cube. Tyler folds his hands on his desk. "So, Macy." "Sen." He tilts his head slightly. "Huh?" "Mason," I say, trying to hold back my annoyance. "Right. Sorry." He's not, as a little smirk plays on his lips. "I'm not sure what you've heard, but I do things differently around here. Being my assistant is more than a 9-to-5 job. You're basically at my beck and call since my schedule is fluid and continually moving. Where I am, you are, no matter what." Huh, that wasn't in the job description. Okay. Now the larger salary makes sense. I was expecting base pay or an hourly wage. Tyler turns on the charm, leaning forward slightly. Your workday will depend on mine. Some days you won't need to be in the office immediately, while others require extra hours.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?